Okay, hey, welcome everybody to the Sunday night live stream. We're talking about 10-bagger stocks that will go up 10x to 100x, like this rocket that Muhammad is showing here. Um, yeah, a lot of exciting stuff happening here. We're going to get into everything. Friday this week was insane. We've had like Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Tuesday. Actually, no, starting on Monday, we had some incredible moves in these stocks, and we're gonna cover everything. But most importantly, forget about what happened last week. What matters most is what's going to happen this week. And I think we're going to see some huge moves in a couple of these names. So before I get into this, well, first we're going to cover a couple of big cap stocks. We're going to cover Tesla. We're going to cover NEO and Bitcoin. Why are these important? Because these are the kind of the three big themes, the three horsemen of the speculative apocalypse. These stocks are really between Bitcoin, which is pure speculation, Tesla, big speculation, NEO, which is also pure speculation. These things have a spillover effect into our universe, which is the microcap space. So we're gonna cover that. Now, what I'd like to actually say is I just came across a fantastic article, which I thought was very flattering. On Seeking Alpha, there's a guy. I put up the link on Twitter. It's Ed Vranik, I think is the pronunciation. He is he's a CFA, and which means he's legit. And he wrote a very positive article on ESE, that's ENTEF, over the counter, which is one of our super stocks, one of our featured super stocks. And he basically said, hey, the Wall Street Report has a great track record, and this could be the next big winner. So you check out that link. It's on our Twitter. If you're not on our Twitter, you should definitely join the Wall Street Reporter on Twitter. Of course, our website. If you're not a subscriber to our YouTube channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. You should subscribe right now. And of course, Telegram. Telegram is where we put out the newest. We put out insights, trading ideas throughout the day. I don't want to say we kind of trading signals, because we don't give advice. It's sort of signals. We kind of say, hey, this is what's happening. Here is something you should take a look at. That's kind of what we do on the Telegram channel. And this week we are going to release on Monday, tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon, high noon Eastern time. We're going to announce what will be one of our next stocks. That could be a big home run. It's a tech stock. It's going to debut on Tuesday. I think this has 10x upside at least. Very similar. I know some of you guys are in that Loop Insight space. You like that. This is kind of I would say, similar concept, but much bigger scope. I mean, this thing could be. Again, and this is a CEO that's had a very, very successful track record in the past, which is important. So he knows what he's doing. He's been around the block a couple of times. So I think this could be a big winner. So I'm going to go into first, I'm going to cover the Tesla stock. I'm going to cover Tesla right now. Again, why is it important? Why is Tesla important for us? Only because it kind of tells you the investor psychology. It's the sentiment. It's what's happening. It's important to know what's going on in the big picture. Now, a couple of weeks ago, somebody asked me in the live stream what I thought of Tesla. I'm so glad that you asked. And I think this was right at $500. And I said, hey, this thing looks like it's breaking out. And again, I couldn't care less for the company. I hate their cars, everything about them. But this is going to be a big winner. And I said, this thing is going to $1,000. I firmly believe it. And it is, the stock is already up $100. So it's up, 20%, which is not a lot. I mean, 20%, $100, it's nothing. I mean, we have stocks that are up 150% in the last week or so, or 2 weeks. So yeah, so but this thing is up, and it's gonna head up. It's gonna go to $1,000, and what that's gonna do when Tesla goes to 1,000, it's gonna create even a further, you know, wave of speculative frenzy is going to wash over to some of these names that we're talking about. So there's a lot of tailwinds. There's a lot of tailwinds that are pushing the stocks that we're talking about. Not only do they have great fundamentals, inflection points, multiple catalysts, all that, there's a lot of big waves also. So, there's a big kind of tsunami that's helping this thing, which is the big speculative wave that's moving things like Tesla up to $1,000. And I did, if you recall, I did mention that I was bearish on NIO, and I would suggest doing a NIO and shorting NIO in a ratio of 10-1 to Tesla, because it's roughly a fifth of the price, or was at the time, and that was working out. Now I think it was Wednesday. I did a live stream. Look at this move. It had this crazy, right after I did that live stream saying this NIO was going down, it dropped, it gapped down hard, but then it had this big turnaround this day. Look at this. It went from less than $40. I think it was $38. Huge day. I mean, and again, the chart, that chart looked amazing. And again, I said, hey, NIO looks like it could be making a big move here. And I'm wrong, okay? Because look what happened. So this is what I was talking about. Why is this important? Because usually this type of action, this type of I don't know, you want to call it a head and shoulders, reverse head and shoulders, key reversal day, whatever this is, this type of move is very, very bullish. It usually indicates a big turnaround. But that's not what happened here. So I'm actually surprised. The next day after that big turnaround, it opened up, it dropped down, and it's been heading down. And you know what? This thing looks very weak now. So it failed. NIO has failed, okay? NIO has failed the reversal. So it is heading down. I think this thing, at this point, it looks very, very weak. It couldn't, it couldn't hold that reversal. I think we're going to see a move below $40 and eventually into the, this could be $10 in the next month or two. So if you do like the electric space, I would say this has been a great trade. I mean, long Tesla, short NIO, 10-1 ratio, however you want to do it. It seems like a winner to me. Now, let's go into Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Why are we talking about Bitcoin? Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin is. Why is Bitcoin not coming up? This must be a real scam. Bitcoin. Where are you? Bitcoin. The Bitcoin chart refuses to come up. Okay. Anyway, I'm not going to pull up the Bitcoin chart now. I'm going to pull up, what I'm going to pull up? I'm going to pull up ESE. I'm going to pull up ESE. But here's what I want to tell you about Bitcoin. If I could pull up the chart, it really looks like it's taking off. I think Bitcoin, I said on our earlier live stream a few weeks ago that I think Bitcoin is the ultimate scam. It's pure speculation. There's nothing, it's the biggest bubble of our time. It's a little bit like tulip mania. So, which is interesting. Now, I do think it's heading up. I think we're going to see new highs in Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin will go to, I'm saying 100,000. I have 100,000 in the headline here for the YouTube, and that is a bit of a clickbait. I really believe it could get there. I think it could get to 60 grand, 60,000 plus. And this is pure. Bitcoin is hot air. It's pure fugazi. Okay, it is. There's nothing there. It's basically a bunch of people saying, hey, it's worth X. I mean, it's an agreement. There's nothing underlying, no value, nothing. Some guy named, what is it, Sakamoto? I mean, It doesn't get better than this. I mean, some guy invents a currency, all of a sudden everybody, agrees that it's worth $20,000 per whatever coin it is, and they have computers that are working 24 hours a day, on these calculators so they can mine these coins. I mean, this is like a giant circle jerk, is what I believe this is. It is exactly like Tulip Mania, but it's going to go to new highs. It's just the way it is. And look who's jumping in on the bandwagon. You have Paul Tudor Jones, very sharp guy. He knows a bubble forming when he sees one. You have who's the guy that worked for George Soros? What's his name? The guy who worked for George Soros. He's a great. The name will come to me. That guy is a brilliant guy. He knows he's made billions of dollars trading currencies, and he knows a scam when he sees it. And that is what Bitcoin is. But they're going to ride this thing up because they see the money flowing in, and the trend is going up. Now, here's what's interesting. I think, look, if you know that this thing is a complete scam, but you do see it going up, yeah, you could get on board. Because look, 30 years from now, you want to tell your grandkids are going to ask you, hey, grandpa, were you involved in that scam, that Bitcoin scam, that thing that went to zero? Yeah, you kind of, it's a generational thing. You kind of want to be in on it. I get it. It's one of those things. It's part of our zeitgeist. But yeah, this thing is going to go eventually. It could go to 60 grand, maybe 100 grand, and then it'll just explode like the tulip bulbs. However, it's what's happening. So I'm not going to deny it. What does it mean for our stocks? Most importantly, again, you have a massive speculative fervor that's going to happen as Bitcoin starts moving up. It's going to wash. We're in a delusion, a popular delusion. It's a psychology. People right now in the world, they're delusional. They really are, and you have to just go along with that. I mean, if you want to make money, you got to play that game. You just have to realize, that it's an illusion. You ever see that movie, The Matrix? This is the same thing. So this is what this is. This is a big scam. But here's what I want to ask you. If you think Bitcoin is going to be up to 100 grand, that's only 5x. That's 5x. You're going to make 5 times your money. But it's like you're trading, hot air to make 5. I don't think that's a good risk return ratio, because we have the stocks that we're talking about, these next super stocks. These are stocks that are going up 1,000 to 2,000%, and our targets are 10x to 100x. Let me pull this up. Yeah, we're not talking about making 8%. This is not like your grandfather's retirement account here. We're talking about highly speculative stocks. I mean, look, if you're going to speculate, and that's what Bitcoin is, pure speculation. If you're going to speculate in Bitcoin, why don't you just speculate in something where you can make that same type of return or even more, but it's at least a legitimate company? I mean, you have the odds, here the odds are stacked in your favor. The stocks that we're talking about, the odds are in your favor. Bitcoin, the odds are against you, because the guy on the other side of the Bitcoin trade is probably smarter than you. So I like to be things where we have the odds in our favor. It's like, it's like counting cards, a blackjack play. You want to, you're counting on a one deck thing. Yeah. You don't want to be a sucker. So let's go into our favorite stock. Here we go. The Mac is freezing up. So I'm going to take a drink of water while it unfreezes. Okay. I'd like somebody to explain to me, any of you guys can tell me why a Mac would freeze. This Mac is like 2 months old. It's a MacBook Pro and it's freezing up. Okay, so let's dive into ESE Entertainment. This is the subject of the Seeking Alpha article, which was very, very bullish on the stock and kind of complementary to what we're doing at the Wall Street Reporter. So I actually very impressed. This guy's a CFA, again, Ed Vranichik. So he knows what he's doing. Intel CPU. Somebody has to explain this to me. I don't know. Yeah. By the way, yeah, this is I paid like $2,000 for this thing, and that is Mohammed. That is why I sold Apple in 2003. Because I had such problems with that the little whatever the iPod yeah. Although I had this cheaper Mac thing which was better. Yeah, yeah. This I don't know, but look, it's so much easier to use than a PC. But okay, let's talk about something more important. We're gonna talk about ESE. This thing is on fire. Again, this is a stock that we debuted last week at right here. It was well, I guess it opened up, it gapped up. Let's call it 35 cents. Okay, let's call it 35 cents. Stock, if you look at this volume, it has been incredible, which is very important. I'm going to show you the volume right here. So once we started featuring this on the Wall Street Reporter, the volume exploded. This is the volume. What does this mean? It means that the stock now has legs. It's taking off. People are getting into it. And I think this thing could be again, we have it because I think this could be our next 10 bagger. It's in the esports space. ENTEF is the US symbol. I think we're going to see a huge week. This stock has been so wild this past week. I mean, let me look at this. I mean, look at well, you can see right here. Look at these crazy moves. I mean, it's going 20 cent, 20 cent a day moves basically, which is, what is that? That's 20%, 27%. So on Friday, it moved up 27%. Okay, so this is the trading range. It has a crazy trading range. Again, if you're getting into the stock, be prepared for wild swings. This is like a roller coaster. But it looks like it was on Friday, it wanted to break out. So I think we could see a continuation of that. If it breaks above 60 cents, it's going to run to $1 or $1.20 plus. So that's our intermediate target. And after that, again, I'm looking for a 10 bagger. So I'm looking for a $3 to $5 stock, really, over 6 to 12 months. But short term, I think we're going to see a pretty nice move this week. Oh, by the way, we have a special guest. A special guest will be joining us very shortly. We're going to have a special guest we're going to bring in who will be discussing his opinion, the fundamentals of ESE and a couple of these other stocks. Let's go into a couple of other breakouts. I'm going to actually cover ICANN. I'm going to cover ICANN here, which is the marijuana stock, the joint. They make the joint. They roll the joints. Wow, look at this move. I was saying earlier this week that this thing was just making a nice steady climb, very relaxed. On Friday, this thing actually you could see the turnaround starting to happen. You look at this couple but on Friday broke out. So this thing really it wants to go higher. Yeah, this is a very bullish move on Friday, Thursday, Friday action. Let's look at the 10-day chart. Yep. Very steady buying. I mean, this thing is going up. By the way, ICANN is going to be back on our live stream on Tuesday. ICANN will be on our live stream. So make sure you are a subscriber. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Let me make that big. Yeah, make sure you are a subscriber to our channel. You're on Discord. You're on definitely the Telegram channel. The Telegram channel is where we have a Order of Canada winner will be on the show. Future Order of Canada winner. Yeah, this thing is going to be going up this week, I believe. Again, ICANN is going to be on Tuesday live stream, and we're also going to have a debut from a tech company on Tuesday, which is a brand new company. I think could be a huge winner. So here it's your opportunity to get on the grand final, and we're gonna announce it on Telegram. So you got to be on the Telegram channel. to get that information on Tuesday. So if you're on the Telegram at 12 o'clock, you'll get the notification. If you're not, you can find out about the stock later, but it might be higher, maybe not. Oh, hey, let's go into another favorite, another fan favorite. Before we go into fans, I'm just going to run through a couple of these charts, and then we'll bring in a special guest. We do fans? No, I'm going to do CBDT first. I'm going to do CBDT first because this had a monster move on Friday, so I'm going to talk about this first. Yep, here we go. So here is CBDT. Now, we first debuted CBDT right around here. I believe it was late October. Let's call it a nickel. So it was about 5 cents that we featured the stock on our live stream, and then a couple more times. Each time the stock reacted very positively. So I guess you guys like whatever Steve, the CEO, has to say. We had him on, was it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. And, the stock went crazy. They're obviously delivering some fundamentals also. But look at this crazy move. This is a real move. This is not a joke. When a stock moves like this on record volume, and by the way, this is Friday. This was the biggest stock on the CSE exchange. Huge volume. So I think this week we're going to see a continuation of that. Let's take a look at the longer term chart. I want to see if we have, which kind of gives, yeah. So look, this was kind of a longer term chart. And why am I showing this? Because this kind of shows you the potential upside. I mean, this is a very bullish formation. And one of my theories, this is whatever call this is one of these walls, is I always believe stocks eventually, or at least they have a potential to go back to where they were previously. So this was at one point a 50-cent stock. So I believe it will go to 50 cents again. And from there, we'll see what happens. But I think, so 50 cents is our immediate target. So that'll be a 10-bagger for us. Since they debuted at 5 cents, it'll be a 10-bagger. I think it's going to happen very quickly. I don't think this is going to be a long-term thing. I think this is going to go to 50 cents next few months, 10 weeks. So that is CBDT. Steve is going to be back probably next week. Not this week, the next week. I think they're going to have some news. I know he's working on a lot of stuff. So very bullish. That's CBDT. A lot of you have been asked about. Let me see if we have any, if I need to catch up on any comments here. By the way, we have a new feature. We have Super Chat. If you want to make a donation, because so we can use your money to buy cigars. There's a little dollar sign there. You press the dollar sign, and you can donate 99 cents. Let's see here, or $99 or whatever. I'm not saying Okay, so we're on Discord. We're on Telegram. We are on wallstreetreporter.com. Make sure you're a subscriber to the YouTube channel. CBDT is, in my opinion, again, this is not official company information. I believe CBDT is going up. 20 million shares in one-day volume. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I put out a comment on Friday. I think it was on Twitter or one of these places. I think it was on Discord. I said, look, once the stock goes above 10 cents, it becomes a real stock. What does that mean? Stocks that are, 2 cents, 3 cents, a nickel, they're considered really penny stock. I mean, even 10 cents. But once it goes to 10 cents, that becomes another level. Psychologically, it's important. Then it goes to a quarter, 25 cents. That's the next level. Once a stock is 25 cents, it becomes even more respectable. Then it goes to 50 cents, and that becomes like, 50 cents. It's a halfway legitimate stock, right? Once it's $1, then it becomes mainstream. So at 50 cents, it becomes palatable for the mainstream. At this point, 10 cents, 20, 15 cents. Most mainstream investors are not buying these stocks because they look at it as, oh, it's a penny stock, oh, it's a scam, oh, it's like garbage, whatever. They don't know. They're buying, instead of buying this, they're going to buy some, I don't know. They'll buy Enron at $50 a share, and which goes to zero. Whatever. Enron was a New York Stock Exchange company, right? what does that tell you? Where's GE? GE was a $100 stock at one point, right? I mean, I can go down the whole list. Whoa, wait, Robin. Robin, I don't even know what this is. What is SGD? Is that Singapore? Is that Singapore? Singapore is a legitimate country. So that money must be a legitimate currency. Singapore. Singapore that's better than US dollars, I think. Oh, we got Calvin, $1. Calvin, okay. We have to answer any questions that Calvin will ask now. Even though it's Canadian dollar, it's not exactly that great, but hold on. Why, Calvin, you sold what are you, crazy? You sold your fans for CBDT? You got 1 million shares of fans at 8 cents. That's a good price. Why'd you sell your fans? Oh, fans is about to take off. But listen, I don't know what price did you sell fans? I know you got in cheap. I know Hammy got in at 20 cents. Hammy got in at the bottom, like the bottom. Henny, okay, Henny, $2. Canadian $2. $1.70 US. Okay. Thank you. All right. By the way, Dr. Hamza will be back. He'll be back. I know you guys, I know some of you people are worried that you don't see this guy for 10 days. That means he's in Brazil. He ran off with all the money. The company, believe it or not, these guys are busy. They're running a business. They get acquisitions. It's a huge operation. For a little bit of context, he's on our channel, let's say, call every 2-3 weeks on average if he's not too busy. The average CEO of a public company, how often do they do a live stream with or a media appearance? Quarterly, every 3 months? These things they take a lot of time, believe it or not. So it doesn't mean anything. He's going to be back in a week. He's not going anywhere. This thing we'll show the chart, okay? Psychedelics. Hang on. Let's go back to. Let's roll back to a couple of comments on the CBDT. Calvin, what price did you sell your? Oh shit! Here we go. He got in at 22 cents. He sold at 75 cents. That's pretty good. The stock went to what, $1.10. It's pulled back. I think we're about to see a massive move here. So Calvin, I don't know. It's tough. Listen, I know, I get it. It's a tough trade-off if I think, one of these things is you kind of need to, allocate maybe a certain percentage of different stocks. I don't know if you're going all in on one stock. That's a big risk to go all in on one stock. Okay, we're going to go into some questions. Okay, so CBDT is looking very bullish. So I think we're in a good spot for next week. I'm going to go to fans. I'm going to pull up the fans chart. We'll find out if Calvin was right or wrong. I'm going to find out if Calvin. Okay, so Calvin got in at 22 cents or somewhere around here. This is where Hammy got in. He got out. I don't know if on the way up or the way down. I don't know, Calvin, where did you sell? Okay, so what's happening is we are having a small pullback in fans. The fundamentals, everything I believe is better than ever. And we're okay, so it went from 20 cents to $1. Let's call it $1, so it's 80 cents. So so it's 80 cents. If you do 40 cents, if you do a 50% correction, that'll get you to exactly 60 cents. So we're having an exact, roughly 50%. If you count the $1.08, whatever, $1.07, more or less. So we're at 50% correction, which is, that's your typical hard correction on the with these penny stocks. That's what happens. They correct about 50% before they go on higher. So fans, I believe, is looking good. Let's go into the 10-day chart. I think also fans might be back on our live stream this week. I'm waiting to hear back word. Okay. To me, again, I've been saying for a while here, I've been saying that this stock does not want to go down. And it really, if you think about it, after that, it sold off that profit taking. It's been hanging around. It really is not like it's not one of these things that just collapses. It's not one of these parabolic things that just go. No, this thing is wants to go up. I think we see here a inverse head and shoulders, so we could see a big move on Monday. I think a lot of things are in place here, so the chart is looking pretty good. Let me look at 3 month. Yeah. Oh, this is the chart. Okay, so this is a beautiful chart. Look at this. You got your correction. You got your run up. You get your correction, 50% correction. Perfect. Very normal, very healthy. And we see it looks to me like a reversal day. This is a reversal here. So if the stock goes above 70, let's call it 77 cents. Let's call it 77 cents. 77 cents is your buy signal on this. 77 cents is the buy. Yep, I think fans is going to blast off. Watch this week. Once this thing goes above 77 cents, it's gonna run. It's gonna run all in for the Lambo, lime green. Which one? It goes week by week. I mean, it really sometimes you don't know. You look, the market is very humbling. I mean, look what happened. I just showed you that Neo chart. It looked like it was coming back. You don't know. You don't know which one is going to move particularly that week. I think fans is going to move big this week. My personal opinion. SHG. We're going to talk. We're going to talk about peak, and we're going to bring in a special guest who's going to talk about peak. Okay, so fans looking good. Next, Visby. Oh, nobody's asked about Visby yet. Wow, this has been a sleeper. This is one of these stocks nobody was talking about. Where do we debut? We debuted Visby at it was right around here, so 15 cents. Let's call it 17 cents. It pulls back, the normal, perfectly normal for these stocks to kind of pull back. It's happened to some of our best stocks that, after they debut, they pop, then they pull back for a month or two, just like fans. And look at this. All of a sudden starts running. They have some good news. So basically this thing is tripled in a week. Does Bitcoin triple in a week? Does Tesla triple in a week? I don't think so. These stocks can triple in a week. So that's why you got to be a subscriber to this channel, especially our Telegram. You got to be on the Telegram channel that we have. Yep. Uh-oh. The Mac is freezing. The Mac froze again. I should get a rebate from this company. I mean, it's unbelievable. Okay, so this is looking good. This thing has tripled. I think we could see a big breakout this week. Yep. We're going to have another gold stock, also a debut this week. I think gold is going to 3,500 an ounce very, very soon. Part of that speculative fervor, $4,000 possibly. Why can Bitcoin be $100,000 and nobody, the Mac? What does it say? What does the guy say? The Mac can't handle. Yeah, these super stocks are too big for the Mac. That's what this is. The Mac can't handle stocks go 10x. That's what it is. That's what it is. I mean, this is the Mac can't handle 10-bagger stocks. Let's go to so Visby's looking very bullish. Again, it goes to show you. I mean, we got winner stocks here. I mean, just because they're not moving up every day, 50%, 100%, it doesn't mean that that they're not going to go up. But sometimes it takes them a little bit longer. Sometimes it takes them a month to start moving. Like Logic, which is going to be, you got to be patient with this one. I know it's been trying a lot of people, just like Doc. But again, look at these crazy moves here. It's making it's really, it's faked out. We've been faked out on the stock for the last 2 months. Every time we think it's going to break out, it's going to happen. I believe that, and it is, when it does, this is going to be a $40, $50 number. So you just got to watch this thing. This is a tricky one. Okay, let's go to Doc. I know let's go to Doc. I'm going to use the US chart because it's just, again, like I said, it's just a cleaner chart. The Doc has been pulling back. So from 50 cents, the run, 250. So if you figure from that's a $2 run, a normal correction would be a 50% correction from that run. Again, what's from 50? It's $2. That's $1. So off of here, we're right at that level. We're right at that magic 50% line. That's where everybody panics. That's where, everybody's been panicking on fans. Everybody's been selling out, jumping onto the next hot stock. We're not mentioning any names here, but that's when people, they move on. They take their profits, whatever it is. They give up on it, and the surprise comes along, and boom, it takes off. Again, once fans kind of reverses, it's going to go to $5 because that's the next level. Maybe even $7. Excuse me, Doc. We're looking at the Cloud MD chart here. So I'm looking for $5 to $7 on Cloud, and that could be like a freight train. It just needs to get back into gear. That's it kind of got, that's the normal thing that happens. It's the way it is. What can I tell you? These things don't go in a straight line. I talked about this on the video about stocks that go down. They got to reverse. Like Peak. Peak went from, basically when we got involved in Peak right around here. So let's call it 27 cents, 30 cents. I don't know. Was it 30 cents? I don't know. I think it was 35 cents maybe. Back in September, and stock hit $2, a little over $2, $2.04. It's having a little bit of a pullback. So again, $2 a buck. It is right at that magic 50% correction. When I say 50% of the gain, so if you look at the break at above 50 cents, that's $1.50. So 75 cents gives us right around here. If I'm doing my math, yeah, I'm doing. Yeah, that is. Yeah. So we're right there. And from here, the stock can reverse. I mean, the company has had some phenomenal news recently. I don't think anybody really understands what they're doing. I mean, if you look at that interview with Johnson from last week, it was pretty impressive. Again, if you look at this, this is what I call a controlled decline. It's a managed decline. It's not like a stock that everybody's dumping. It's crashing. It's panic. This is not panic selling. It's like profit taking. It's like a step down slowly. It's kind of like very managed. So yeah, it's just a normal thing. What can I tell you? It's like in life, right? Sometimes a stock has to come back so it can get legs, so it can make that next run. That's what happens. It's happening with Apple, Facebook, Google, Tesla. CRVC. I'm going to pull up CRVC. Wow, this is taking a long time. We're going to bring in our special guest in just a second. I'm sorry, we got a lot of charts here. Look at this. The gold is waking up. Gold is waking up here. These guys have a monster position in Ontario, and they are doing some exploration. Fans, yeah, $3 to $5, I believe it. Cloud is either $3 or $1.50. Yeah, I'd say that's close. It might take a little longer. Logic, you got to be patient. They're trying to do an IPO right now in Canada, so I don't think they're going to be putting out too much news because they don't want them putting out stuff. Let's see. Okay, so we got CRVC looking very bullish. I think we could see a big run. I'm bullish on gold. Again, check out that interview. It's on the YouTube. We looked at ESC, right? Okay, let's look at SHG. This is a monster stock. Skylight Health. I gotta tell you, the CEO is a very impressive guy. So we, what day we put him on? I think it was this day, right? It was 50 cents roughly. 60 cents. It starts running right after that debut. I mean, I gotta tell you, again, look at this. It breaks out of this pennant here. And look at this long base. Long base. To me, this says $355. Very quickly. Very quickly. I think we're going to see, we could see some crazy moves. I mean, look at the stock is moving like crazy. 2 million shares of volume. Once it breaks above $1, you're going to have a whole new wave of investors coming in. And again, look at this. It stopped at 99 cents. 99 cents. Once SHG goes above $1, it's just going to go higher. That's going to be the next level. Yeah, just a big uptrend. A little bit of a profit taking, I think, maybe on Friday. But the day was very strong. I mean, serious buying on the open. Yeah, people did a lot of buying. So I think this is SHG is going to be a big winner. And let's see here. Yeah, so SHG, big winner. What else did we cover? Did we cover everything? I think that's it. I think we've covered all the stocks. That was pretty quick. Okay. Let's bring in a special guest, Future Order of Canada winner, Hemi.
Hello.
Hemi, welcome.
Thank you, Jack.
You got some glasses there? You getting ready? Yeah, gonna have a couple of drinks here? It's
a little party time here.
What are you
a good week
there?
It's wine right now, but
oh, you got wine? Okay.
See what happens.
We got I remember last time. Every time, the one thing I don't like about Canada is when you go to like a bar or something, they measure, right? They measure the alcohol.
Well, I mean, it depends on it depends who you are, I guess, and how much.
Oh, really? They measure. They put like a little cup. They measured like. God forbid they give you like too much, it's like,
yeah.
I don't know. Is that a government thing or no?
No. Well, I mean, legally they're only supposed to give you a certain amount, but depends
really?
where you go. Right?
Okay. Now these were like, I don't know. It was like, I guess mainstream places. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Okay. So Hemi, what do you think? Well, first I want to ask you: Are you still in fans? You got in at 20 cents, right?
Oh yeah, I'm still in. I mean, I took a little bit off the table just because that's just to de-risk and move into other things.
How much did you sell? What percent?
I think 20% maybe of my total holdings.
Okay.
At around, I think it was around 78 cents or something.
Okay. Oh, like this, like Calvin, you and Calvin.
Well, I kind of sold on the way up though, but
on the way up,
it just kept going, and then I just held on to it. But
yeah, because it was going parabolic.
Yeah, Yeah, it
So
went
no,
from
I mean,
20 to 78 in an instant. So, I mean, it's like, well, I should probably take a little bit off the table here just in case. And then, yeah. But
yeah.
yeah, I'd be a
I
buyer here coming back up, though, for sure.
would you buy it here right now?
Oh, yeah, I think it's going to go for sure. I mean, there's so much going on, like all their partnerships and stuff like that. It's just going to keep getting better. I mean, like you said, it's just a correction, just like a normal penny stock always does. Nothing's changed fundamentally about the company. If anything, they're doing more. They got more games coming out, and the legislation on iGaming, and they just talked about the bill for the single sport betting in Canada. I mean, that's a game changer for everything. You're talking like $13 billion going offshore to illegal gambling that's going to be back into the market. And the biggest problem is when you use these illegal sites, it's impossible to get your money back. Like, to get it out, it takes forever, right? So, the system that Fans has, it's pretty streamlined, like when you're doing it legally. So that's one thing to consider. Like, there's all these technicals and fundamentals, but then there's these things in the underside that you don't really think about when you're talking about the stock, that it can really make an impact on the company moving forward, like just the sentiment on how the company operates, right? So,
that's the thing is you do the reason I have you on is you do due diligence on these stocks, and I like your perspective. Most investors, they look at it for 5 seconds and they just buy it or sell it. They don't really spend too much time. That's why it's important to get the whole perspective.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, I like Fans moving forward for sure.
So you'd be a buyer at these levels right now?
Yeah, for sure. I think so. It could dip a little bit, but I mean, just keep an eye on it. And if, like you said, it hits that 77, it's gonna go.
Yeah,
right?
I think the bottom is in. I think it was that's pretty much it.
It's just gonna take one news release, and then
right.
That's what it comes down to, just keeping the news flow going, keep everybody interested.
Yeah. I think 1-2 releases and it's back in that action mode, because this is this run, this was really its first run. This is the first time anybody paid attention to the stock ever.
Yeah.
Nobody really was paying attention to Fans before. So now there's a lot more eyeballs on it. So what that means is the next time it starts running, it just gets amplified because people want to get in on the next big run.
Yeah.
So yeah. What about what other stocks are you following in the group? Are you in SA? Did you see the SHG live stream Skylight?
Yeah, I think that was a very impressive interview for sure. I like their model, the subscription-based, healthcare, primary care. Pay $100 for your basic. It's kind of like cable, right? And you just pay for the add-ons as you go, or you know what I mean. I think it's brilliant, to be honest. And they got trailing revenues of $20 million. They got forward guidance of $35 million. There a lot of stuff in the pipeline. And they're tackling an issue. I mean, I think you can probably attest to it, Mark, because you live in the States, in terms of healthcare, because it's a little bit different in Canada. But I lived there for 3 years, and the healthcare was really expensive. Like it wasn't cheap to get taken care of, even with insurance. So
right.
So I think they're doing.
So their whole thing is, I mean, again, so a lot of people are probably asking, hey, what is the difference between CloudMD and Skylight and all very different companies. They all have different models, different markets, everything.
I mean, it's $1 trillion industry. You're going to have, there's going to be companies doing different things, right? So
multi-trillion.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, if they're focused on their idea is focusing on the primary care and going into areas that are not as covered, basically, to give, access to healthcare, and that for a reasonable price point, right? So
yeah.
And like even Dr. Hamza says, I mean, the primary care, that stuff's never going to go away per se. Like the telemed's going to be kind of like the triage, but you're still going to need to see the doctor for a lot of things. That's never going to go away, right? So the whole idea of having clinics and that it's not going to change the game. You know what I mean? Like,
and even with the vaccine, the whole thing where they're saying, oh, the vaccine, oh, this is the thing that's going to make, this is what killed all these stocks in the beginning was, the vaccine. People are going to stop seeing doctors.
Yeah, no, it's going to cure everything, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So this is it's an interesting opportunity because I think if I looked at the Teledoc chart because that was kind of like the leader in that kind of space in a way,
Mm-hmm.
and Teledoc is been it looks like it's kind of made a base here because they were kind of digesting that kind of that long thing here. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
interesting comment. The longer the base, the higher it is that it pops. Yeah, it's true. Hey, let me give you a metaphor. Like give you these now. Is it? I don't know if it's a metaphor or analogy. What is it? So, there's a Zen master, and a student comes to him and says, oh, I'm having a very hard time in my life. This is bad. This is, everything is going bad. This is falling backwards. Like everything is going in reverse. And the Zen master, okay. He's very quiet. He says, and he's sitting there. He says, jump up on this table. But the table is like, it's like 4 feet off the ground, right? So he says, I can't jump because I'm standing here. How do you jump on a table? It's right in front of you. You can't, right? Hammy, can you do it? No.
No, probably not.
He says, okay. So he says, okay, now go back a few, 20 feet, run, and then you can run and jump. Can you do it? The guy goes back, sprints, jumps on the table. She says, you see? Sometimes you have to take a few steps back to make the next great leap forward.
No.
The great leap forward to get to the next level. So this is what happens with these stocks. They got to pull back before they can jump on that next level. That's off the ground. So that's the same. Same thing here with fans, all these other stocks. So SHG, you like that? What about? Are you watching? What else? ESC. Are you following ESC Entertainment?
Yeah, I got in ESE. Forget what I bought it at. It was pretty close to the opening day, just because.
Wow.
Yeah, esports. I mean, it's such a booming industry, and the one thing that kind of resonates with me, what Conrad says, is like it's like a fragmented industry. So it's kind of like a big land grab of companies trying to grow basically, and it looks like they're making the right moves. To me, they still need to deliver and all that, but this latest NR with the acquisition is a pretty big deal. And if you look at Microsoft, somebody posted something in our StockFam channel somewhere, or might have been in the Wall Street Reporter, but Microsoft actually purchased a tournament company, Smash GG. So I mean, there are players out there, big players that are trying to get into this market. So esports, back when I was paying attention to it, it was kind of like, five guys got together and lived in a house and played together like nonstop or whatever. Now it's turning into, okay, well, now you got these big companies sponsoring these guys, like with Overwatch, like to get a franchise. Originally it was like 25 million US just to get a franchise to be a part in the Overwatch league. Now I think it could be like 50 million now, but I mean, it's a big industry. Like it's not small. So
okay, so $50 million for that's like basically the equivalent of like a baseball team. Well, in the US was maybe 30 years ago.
Yeah, no, I mean, so I've kind of thought about it. I'm like, well, yeah, this kind of makes sense.
Idea.
They're building they're building these big organizations to own these teams, and people. I mean, like you said, more people watch esports than any of these other sports. And that's why I like Fans Unite, because esports is growing so big. I mean, next thing up is the gambling on esports, right? So, and they got the technology to do it. So
and everything, and all the back and all the what do you call it games? What do they call the random RNG? That's the slot machine. Yeah, that's where they make the real money.
Yeah, the iGaming and all that stuff too, right? So, but I mean, it's just all that stuff adds up to the top line of revenue. So, but I mean, that's just going to get them a big buyout number, probably Fans Unite, right? Like someone's just going to throw them a bunch of money at some point. Like, who knows how much? Could be in the billions at some point.
I think all these companies they have this blue sky potential. I think with the esports, what ESC is doing in a way, the new acquisition is kind of a it's an infrastructure place, it's a back end thing, but I think it kind of gets in the door to a lot of places. And, once they start getting that traction, it's like a snowball effect. Then they can buy teams. I think that's kind of where they're going. It is because
Mhm.
it really is, like as you said, it's kind of like a land grab right now. It's like the Wild West, and this really is going to be like the next big thing. And it's not even that mainstream yet. Esports is still not like, nobody really know. I don't know, like the esports teams really, like but there's hundreds of millions of people watching.
Yeah, I
So
mean, the people that watch it, it's kind of like it's almost like a cult following, essentially. Like these guys, like this watch, like I can't do it. I can't sit and watch somebody playing a video game. But I mean, these tournaments are actually pretty interesting. Like
somebody's
I could,
watching, hundreds of millions of people.
yeah, no, I
And
mean,
also it
just
looks
like
visually, it looks like
Mhm.
sports.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying in terms of like watching a guy streaming himself play, but watching like the actual teams play is a lot more
Okay,
interesting than, um, you know what I mean? So when these
because
guys,
people.
yeah, so when it's an actual competition, team competition, it's actually really entertaining. And I just, the sky's kind of the limit. There's not many companies that are really pushing it as hard as, that I see ESE is doing. And there's a couple other ones, but um, definitely it's a huge opportunity if they can keep delivering like they have been for sure. And yeah, like he talks like the media rights and all that kind of stuff, comparing it to the NFL. I mean, he's not wrong. The sponsorship money is huge, right? So, you get
I
a
think it's
couple
the
of these
same. It's
teams.
exactly the same thing. People, pay. It's like any sports, anything. It's you're paying for, to have access to that audience, to reach that
Mhm.
audience. So these,
Yeah,
basically the audiences are valuable, right? So they're able to, to get an audience. It's worth money, right? They can
yeah,
get, millions of people, and it's a targeted demographic, that's valuable. It's worth money. It's like look at what is it? Why did these guys buy the UFC for? I think 3 billion, was it?
yeah,
I don't think it's any different than esports, really, when you think about it. Kind
yeah.
of
Well, I
the same
mean, if you
idea,
look
it's
at,
different, whatever. These guys are fighting, whatever.
mhm. But I mean, you look at Microsoft trying to get into like the tournament space. I mean, that just validates what ESC is essentially doing. If Microsoft's trying to enter the space and buy people out, I mean, it's just going to happen, right? Like,
Hemi, what about the pot stocks? You like the pot stocks? I can.
oh, I can, yeah. I think it kind of broke its resistance on Friday, and I think we could see the next move coming soon here. Especially when I'm not sure when they're going to release their numbers for their fiscal Q1, but I expect it's going to look really, really nice. And even their year end that they released, end of July 31st. I mean, those revenues look really good. So the pullback was kind of strange to me. I guess it was kind of sell on news, I guess. But I mean, those revenues with only half the year being with the machine and not even at full capacity, really, and manual labor. I mean, I don't know, the revenue for this could be silly once they
End
get
of
fully
December, end of
going.
December for Q1.
Yeah,
So, for anybody that does not know about ICANN, basically their main thing is, I guess I would summarize it as, they have some the marijuana brands that have this ganja gold, but really it's the joints. They have a
hmm,
machine, really. It's a technology play that really is able to manufacture these things at scale with
hmm,
high quality, efficiency, at a cost that is, I don't know, what is it, 20% of the cost of normal methods of how
hmm,
people, they have, I guess, assembly lines of people rolling joints, like it's like
yeah,
they roll cigars in Cuba. They have people sitting
yeah.
in rows. So,
And
it's
with the legislation, they have to roll it in California. It's not like they can outsource it somewhere else, right? So they have to, if they're producing these and selling in California, they have to roll in California. So if they want to move to Nevada, they're gonna have to move a machine to Nevada and into their warehouse in Nevada too. So it's not like you can outsource this stuff and get cheap labor necessarily. So it's basically taking margins from 20% to 42% for their side of it, right? So I
it's
believe what the
insane.
numbers you said. So I mean,
Yeah.
and then they white label it to other companies, and it's just sky's the limit for me. Like they're only using it for one shift right now and only one machine. So
So on Brandon's interview last week, he basically talked about that they're going to be increasing shifts, increasing capacity. They might be adding more machines. So the company's really at that inflection point.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Like this is probably my favorite, cannabis play, just based on the technology itself, for sure. Like, the share structure's good. The management's good. The product's good. So, I love ICANN moving forward for sure.
Mr. B is very optimistic. He's this guy gold 4,000 ESC up there. They could be big because look, I think that this is with these deals, like really you're buying into the CEO's vision of where he's going to take the company, because it's a very early stage company. The industry is early. So what is this guy's vision for? What does he see as the opportunity? What can he, what does he, sometimes, you don't want people who think too small, right?
Right, exactly.
Oh, look at this. Ben Baker, $2 super chat. I can't tell you, man. I can't tell you. If you join the Telegram on Monday, 12 noon, we will announce one of them. One of them we will announce. The next one the next day. The Gold will announce the next day. Container. We got some people who are very bullish on these stocks. I'm very modest. I'm only looking for like a 10 bag or maybe a little more. These guys are $100. Let's see. Hemi, are you still? Somebody was asking, do you still own Doc? Cloud MD.
Got a little bit of Doc.
Did you sell your Doc? Did you sell a little bit of Doc?
Oh, a while ago. To like I typically do. Like when something runs up, you got to de-risk, right? But I mean,
that's a great point. Now, okay, so at what point, what percentage do you de-risk? What's your kind of strategy? Because this is very important. This is the whole key.
Yeah,
you can't hold every stock 100% position.
No, you gotta move things around. You gotta diversify. You gotta protect yourself from like you could hold like 100% of something and it corrects, and then you're gonna sell it when it corrects? No, it's a lot harder to do.
If a stock goes up 500%, you want to take money off the table.
Yeah, no, I mean, you should
at least get your principal back.
Yeah, I'm not an advisor or anything, so do your own, what makes you feel comfortable. But I mean, in my situation, like when something hits a double, or depending on the momentum and everything, like I'm paying attention to the chart and the volume and what things are doing. So, when something hits a double, I'm taking probably 20 or 25% off, depending on what it is or how much I own. And then, I mean, there's lots of different strategies. There's the 30-30-30 strategy. So when it gets to double, you take 30, and then the next double another 30, and then ride the last 30 long term. There's lots of different strategies you can use, but it's always important to de-risk. And you might leave a little bit on the table, but there's always other opportunities, right? Like you're always announcing new stocks, and we're always announcing new stocks, and there's always somewhere to put that money, or just even hold cash in case something comes along, right?
Hey, are you in a bar? Are you getting drunk in a bar?
No, this is just the.
It's like the guy. Did you see? There's a hedge fund guy. What's his name? He's a big hedge fund guy. I think he lives in the Cayman Islands. I see him. He's doing all his streams from a bar. I think he owns a bar in the Cayman Islands. Raul Pal, I think his name, right? He's a macro guy.
Yeah. Well, this might turn into my new studio, so we'll see. I got to fix the internet though, apparently, because it wasn't very good when I was trying to connect with the laptop.
No, perfect now. No. So here's the thing. So Hemi, so the point you're making is, I think, critical points. Like we talk about the fast lane strategy, taking a 10 bag, making 10x next deal, and you can parlay 10 grand into $1 million basically in 3 trades.
Yeah.
Or you can take $1,000 because again, so these are penny stocks. You can do it. You can take $1,000 and turn it into $1 million in 3 trades, right? $1,000 becomes 10 grand. That's trade 1. Trade 2 is the 10 grand becomes 100, and 100 becomes $1 million in 3 trades. It can be done, right? So, but the key. But here's the thing: the key is, there's a lot of stocks that you never know which one is going to be that one 10 bag or whatever. So sometimes you gotta sell off a little bit. Hold. This is the hard part of the business. It's very easy to buy a stock.
Yeah, well, the nice thing about the strategy is like as you do this and you hit on a few of these, like your opening positions for these companies start to get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So if you're hitting on them, right?
That's
So like
right.
20 taking 20% off, 2 months ago, and now taking 20% off, after all the stuff's up like 150, 200%. I mean that you're starting to open up. You're going from opening a position
Now
maybe
you're parlaying.
$5,000.
Now
Now you're opening a
you're in
position at
that.
20,000. Like,
I mean,
you know what I mean?
so you're basically in that role now. You're in that
Yeah,
parlaying.
yeah, pretty much.
You're doing it. Yeah. So that's a very important point.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot different when you can open a position, with a lot more money after a couple of things run up. Like, Doc was huge for me personally because it ran up so hard, and I owned a lot of it. So, I was able to use that to move into a lot of these other plays. And had I not done that and just held on, I'd be in a lot different of a situation right now. So, I might not be in peak. I might not be in some of these other ones, right? So.
This is okay. So this is, I think this, okay, what you're saying now is the highlight of today's whole live stream. I mean, this is the whole key point is to know when to, take some profits off the table so you can have, ammunition for the next opportunity.
Yeah, and there's always going to be opportunities. Always, always, always.
Right, right. As a famous Wall Street guy told me, there's always, what did he say? He said, "There's always another bus leaving to the moon." Like, what?
Yeah.
There's another bus leaving. This was actually, we have an interview with him, a live stream. It was Asher Edelman. Asher Edelman. There's an interview we did with him. He was actually the role model. He was actually the guy that the Gordon Gekko character was modeled on in the movie Wall Street. Asher Edelman. Robin, is that Singapore dollars? $3. Super chat. CBDT, $1 is here. Wait, hold on a second. You talking about 2020 or 12 months? If you can clarify. I don't think it'll be $1 at the end of this month, but I think it could be in 6 to 9 months. It could be $1. I think it'll be 50 cents in a few months. Hamid, do you own CBDT?
A little bit, just because we cover it, so I like to have a little piece of everything that we talk about. So
You like a little speculative action?
yeah, I like it. I think it's gonna, like you said, I think it'll go up. And we even talked like a few weeks ago that all it needs to do is break that 10 mark, get the penny pinchers out, and break that 10 cents, and it's gonna keep kind of going, right? So
what price did you get in that?
I was in at like 5.5.
Oh, you got in the bottom, basically.
Yeah. So originally I was in.
You're up 3x.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
In a month.
But I don't have, like, I had more, and I did the whole sell at a double, whatever. But I never really went in with a lot of that one.
Okay. Nothing wrong with taking profit. Oh, so you sold away. You sold at a dime.
I 9.5, so it's pretty close to double.
Okay.
Like I sold it before it broke the 10. Like whenever it did that, like I think it was a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like it a lot. And I think it's going to do exactly what you say it's going to do. It's just hard to own everything,
You
like
can't.
I gotta kind of like, I like to diversify across sectors,
Right.
And have something in every, like, all the different sectors. So, but like I said, I like, we cover it, so I like to have a little piece of it. So
You don't want to have too much exposure in any one sector, right? I mean, you're not going to have like half money in like esports or cannabis, right?
Right. So like if I look at my portfolio, I pretty much have like almost, I got a healthcare, I got, cannabis, I got the fintech, so I'm spread pretty good across the board. So
yeah. Oh, speaking of fintech, we got people asking about Peak. Peak. Did I ask about Peak? I asked about so many stocks.
No, we haven't talked about Peak yet. No.
We haven't talked Peak. You're in Peak still?
Oh yeah, a lot. Like Peak's probably one of my favorites.
Peak has a lot of momentum. Now, here's the thing with Peak is that this thing really could run big, and it's got like a very interesting momentum. Each of these stocks has its own personality. If you look at the chart, they'll have their own personality. Like,
Well, if you want, like the last interview, I mean, just like that, the influencer thing is huge. Like once they get that rolling, like that's huge. Like I can't even downplay how big that is, but it's hard to kind of understand and understand the revenue from that. But the other thing you talked about, which was a big deal, is the data. And I think you even put one of my comments up there that data is king, 100 times scale, and that's not an understatement. Like data is worth, like you can't put a number to it because it just doesn't work that way. Like um, selling data is literally more than anything that they'll do in terms of what the revenue they're doing right now. So when they start monetizing the data, that's really when this thing will start to really make sense and really take off. Like you're looking at data companies getting bought for billions of dollars, just to have access to the data that they're getting. So I mean,
again, that's the kind of the underlying asset. That's the key thing. Is really is It's like at the end of the day, what is Amazon? Amazon is a data company, right?
yeah, that's where they make probably the majority of Google, Facebook. That it's all data. Like
User data. It's like the user data to see like what people like, or I guess in the case of of Peak is you have this huge database of potential borrowers because they're doing the lending,
yeah.
their credit scores, what the propensity to pay, prepay, not pay, late, whatever, all that stuff is there.
It's just insane data that they have access to. It's just you can't downplay how important data is. And you hear lots of CEOs that are in the data field talk about it. It's like, oh, when we start monetizing the data, that's when we're really gonna, but everything kind of has to be steps.
Yeah, I think that it's one of those things that people are the value of the data. I call it data. You call it data. I call it data. It's a lot of people don't understand. It's not a It's not a concept that's really mainstream. I mean, it is, but it like, look, professionals understand it, but most investors, like retail investors, they don't really get it, the value of it. But that is the
definitely
key.
Something I would suggest that people really research and understand how data is monetized, because it's important. Because I mean, there's going to be a day when they announce revenue and they're doing their thing, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're going to get slapped in the face, and it's going to be like, oh, here's our numbers, by the way, with data, and it's going to, that's kind of how it works. It's kind of like how it worked with Amazon and Google and everything, even Facebook to a degree.
We got what do we say? We got somebody was saying a comment about Peak. Where is the comment? I lost the comment. There we go. Okay. Oh, so loaded heavy, Mr. Dada on the pullback. Okay, what price did you get in it? Because I think this is right here. I mean, I've been saying, oh, it's gonna. This is, I think, right around here, and with these stocks, sometimes it's either you're off or by whatever it is, a couple of percentages, but we're in. Here's the thing. I think the main point, the takeaway I want to make with a couple of these stocks that have had these pullbacks. If you look at these pullbacks, you can see on the chart that they're very they're kind of these managed kind of or controlled declines where they just slowly they drop off a little bit. It's not like these panic sell-offs where your stock gaps open down, like you saw with NEO, when NEO opens down, like 10%. You haven't seen that with any of these, which is I think the key point is that these are not panic sell-offs. This is not like the crash. Oh, this is your normal profit taking. So that is the time to time to think about getting in.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why I kind of like the Discord too, because if you see something going down, I mean, you could panic sell and lose your position in a company, when really, there's people that understand this stuff. Tech analysis and just understanding the market is like, no, this is being walked down. This is normal. This is healthy. This is what we need, sort of thing. So it kind of creates like a safety blanket, if you will, of so people don't panic and lose their positions and whatnot. Because it's not like you said, it's not panic selling. It's just the stock's doing what the stock does. It goes up and it goes down and goes back up again. Like these are good companies with strong fundamentals. Nothing changes fundamentally about the companies. It's just market sentiment sometimes, and sometimes it's just what the stock needs to do.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's basically it. Let's see. Hammy, what's your price target on Doc? 6 months.
oh, I still think we're, like I think we talked about March even being around $5. I think when you talk about June, by that time they'll probably have some enterprise clients and really bringing in. I think they talked about forward guidance of 35 million next year, based on what they have currently, without any additions or really adding any enterprise clients
You know,
or
I, I I think that when their earnings came out, like that I think probably a lot of investors, like there's a lot of new people in the stock, and I think a lot of them, they don't realize that those numbers are really for last year. That this doesn't include all the
yeah,
new business. So it's like that's
yeah.
why it's not that impressive. Like maybe they think, oh, that's it, that's all. That's
Well, you
and
look at
that's old.
you
That's
look
like
at the
that's
acquisition.
a year behind.
Yeah. You look at the acquisitions, I mean, most of them are done for Q4. And so, I mean, the Q3 numbers were never going to have any of those acquisitions accretive until Q4 anyway. So I think we're going to see a really good Q4 coming up. Um, so, and unfortunately, I mean, like in the prospectus, you can look into that, and they got like 35, $40 million of negotiations on potential deals. So, I mean, they got a lot in the pipeline. It takes time to put these things together. And we know Dr. Hams is very calculated. He wants to put these things done in an order that makes sense and that kind of complements each other. Like we saw all those acquisitions with IMD Health and all that kind of stuff. And they were all accretive to each other and built this network that would be able to sign on enterprise clients. And that was like their big thing. And now it all makes sense, right? Maybe at the time when you saw these acquisitions one by one, it's like, what is he doing here? Like, and now it all makes sense, right? So in this next batch of acquisitions, it'll be the same thing. Eventually, it's all going to make sense, and the stock's going to be back. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Doc. I mean, unfortunately, the stock has gone down to where it has, but I mean,
I mean,
it's an opportunity, right?
like
Like,
unfortunately, it's gone down, and this is not even a lot. This is like nothing.
yeah,
This
I
is
know.
this is like
You know.
a little normal correction here.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think basically one of the things you got to look with Doc is, first of all, this is not an earnings play yet. Even it's
No, no.
still about 6 to 9 months, maybe 9 months out. Right now, it's still
Mhm.
a growth phase. People want to see the acquisitions, everything come together,
Yeah,
and I think, look, they've been. My take is they've been busy the last month or so, like kind of digesting closing the deals.
yeah,
They have to deal with the financing. They got to do the financials, all that, the integration, all that stuff. So I think they're going to be back on the offensive like any day. I think shortly, and then we're going to see the stock start moving again. So this is
yeah,
because you don't see them this quiet for so long, right? It's been a couple of weeks now, right?
yeah. I think so. Yeah, I mean, and like he's even said, like acquisitions in the United States are a lot more. It's a lot more difficult. It takes a lot more time because I don't know if it's because they're a Canadian company, but and they're trying to tread lightly. They don't want to set off like what they're trying to do because there's so much competition. So, even that the U.S. acquisition that they had in Mississippi, they didn't really release any of the details, like no revenue or anything about that, because, like you said, they want to tread lightly and they don't want to set off, the competition as to what they're trying to do. So, I mean, those are the things that I pay attention to and what a CEO is talking about that makes me feel comfortable with my investment. And I'm just going to hold. Like Doc, nothing's changed about Doc other than the price of the stock. Company's still getting stronger, and at the end of the day, it's going to come back at some point. So,
Visby. Did I ask about Visby? Hamid, are you in Visby?
I'm not in Visby. I'm waiting to find a spot to get in Visby. I've wanted to get into it, but I just haven't yet. But
It's kind of once these things start running, it's kind of hard to get in. You got to get in
yeah,
basically,
I,
and then
I like to wait till it finds that level of support. So I mean, if it runs up to 70 and finds support at 60 or something like that, then I'd buy there too. Like I like it. Maybe I don't get into it till the new year or something. But it's a data company, right? It's like we talk about data. Eventually, they're going to monetize that data, and it's going to be a big deal. So that's definitely what I'm watching. I would like to get into it, and I probably will at some point here in the near future. But I'm just kind of watching it for now to, I got people sending me messages in my Discord inbox, slamming their fists like, get in Visby. So I'm like, okay, I'm trying here, but it's hard to own. Like, there's so many stocks that I like
Right.
that it's tough, right?
Okay, Robin. When a company like Kodak can run 3,000, did it run 3,000? I don't even follow. Why not? Why not empower to $1? He made 1,100% in 3 days on TSNP. Yes, what is everybody selling this TSNP? I looked at it. To me, the TSNP, I looked at because I'm getting bombarded. I think it's people are spamming with this. To me, the TSNP looks like it's a pump and dump. It has a smell. It's got like a, it's just it does. The chart looks like it could run higher, but it just has that odor. I hope you got out of the TSNP, or if you haven't, you consider taking profits because it looks like it's not a stable chart. It looks like just straight up from out of nowhere, and it's a bad vibe. It's a bad vibe. But why can't Empower be $1? There's no reason why it can't. There's no reason. I'm just like a realist. I think these things don't happen, in 2 days. I think it could take 6 months, 9 months, a year. Normal. That's the way things work normally. I know we've had a couple of people have gotten spoiled. Again, it's not normal for stocks to become up 5x in 2 months, 3 months. That's not the way it works. Usually,
honestly, with CBDT, if they get some big partnership with what Loop's doing, I mean, it could take off to $1 because look what that one's done. They latch on, you get one of these. They latch on. It say Loop announces they're doing the NCAA March Madness with CBDT. Then why not?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's here's the thing. I think with Loop, not Loop. What's it? CBD is. It's a question of. I think there's a couple of moving parts, and I think Steve is kind of, here's the thing. The good part is the guy really is, he's what I like is he's opportunistic. He's looking for like something which is going to be a good deal, and I think once they have some cash in there, which they I think they got some warrant exercise coming up right around now or a little bit higher. Once they have some cash, I mean, this guy could make some interesting moves, and it could become a whole different ballgame. So this thing could really run. This thing has a good feel. I mean, everything seems to be lining up. George,
I like the. Sorry, go ahead.
549. Thank you, George. All right. What's your question? George, do you have a question? We got to answer your question. The genie. We're going to rub the bottle, and now you get George R. Okay, so this guy's saying something with this TS. I don't know. Somebody's constantly bombarding this TSMP. Like Twitter. I think it's a fugazi stock. So any AR stocks? Not right now. No, actually, no. I'll be candid with you. I mean, I don't think AR is really a theme. I mean, I don't think it's I'm not looking at it as a theme. Like okay, so IP. I mean, IP could be any business. I mean, it could be whatever, marketing, whatever. Because it's not so much the. It's not so much the AR. It's like if they're doing engagement, fan engagement, whatever it is, you could do it through AR. I mean, look, once you have your foot in the door with whatever team they're in, I think they were short, whatever team they're going after, Barcelona. What are these football teams? Whatever it is.
Yeah,
make what they sell them as long as they get the money from them. It doesn't matter. Does anybody care? Who cares?
Well, again, I mean, with AR, it's all about data too, right? You're getting that real-time data from what people are doing with AR, right? So that's kind of how you got to think about AR. It's not just like the pictures on the screen. It's you're getting that real-time what these people are doing kind of data, and that's the back end of it, right? So like the fan engagement's the one thing, but then you're taking that data from that fan engagement, and that's kind of the bigger scope of things with AR and why it's such a big deal, because it's just all about that data that's it's not accessible anywhere else. It's like a new kind of data, basically, or data.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, that makes sense. No, look, no, you're right. I mean, if they get the data from the back end, that's the other stuff, then it becomes very valuable. I look, I mean, I just want to see, like, in case of Imagine AR, like, I want to see like more scale of, deal flow, bigger,
Yeah, yeah.
more fast, like it's. I think that's what not. It's not to me. It's really what investors want to see. I think that they're impatient because I think they're expecting it to be much in the velocity at
Mhm.
a higher level, or the scope, the velocity, the whole thing.
Yeah, these things
So,
take time, right? I mean, you
right.
start off with Valencia, then you sign Real Sociedad, and then it just kind of barrels down from there, right? And COVID
Well,
kind
no,
of
everybody
took a hit.
wants all that to happen within this period of a month. Everybody was expecting all that stuff to be compressed and to be
Mhm.
signed in the month of by August. They were
Yeah,
expecting all that stuff to, yeah, but it takes longer. So
yeah,
what do you do?
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you need to show that it works. Like you need a working model to show other like what it's doing for these sports teams and that. So they've announced some decent deals. So but it just takes time for them to roll that stuff out and show what the benefit is before the next guys jump on and it
Yeah.
really starts to scale from there. So I mean, I like IP. I'm rooting for. I like Alan. He's a good guy.
Yeah, no, no,
Um,
I love Adam.
yeah,
I mean, it's. I want to see, I want to see action.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, yeah,
look, I mean, here's the thing. It's not like what I want. It's, when we put a company like on the platform, they basically have to have right out of the gate. It's got to start really working. Otherwise, people are not going to want to watch the next stop.
yeah,
We're only as good as the last really, we're only as good as the last deal, right? If one of these
yeah.
things blows up or is a dud, that's you gotta be very,
Oh yeah,
very.
you gotta be very careful, right?
Yeah,
Like
no, I mean, look, it's
you gotta
uh
know that there's news flow coming.
George R. Man. Oh, it's George R. You know, um, I don't know, maybe a dozen. It depends. It depends. There's like a natural flow of. Sometimes we have, like, right now we have 8 companies. We have, I think, 9, whatever it is. It kind of ebbs and flows. I'm interested really in quality. Like, I like to have like an ensemble cast of, companies which everything kind of works together. So you may have, like, a couple of tech companies, like we have some healthcare deals, and they all kind of feed off each other. So it works. And if a few of them start working, then the others benefit, and it's like, it's like a little ecosystem. So that's to answer your question, George. What is this TSMP? Why is everybody? I looked at this chart. I mean, okay, so yeah, pump and dump. Yeah, I think TSMP. I look. They have huge volume. I mean, the thing looks like really like massive volume. It doesn't make any sense. This guy app doesn't. I don't know where these things come from, but something about it has a bad, bad, bad smell. Um, uh, Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, whatever. Yeah, we're gonna keep them, yeah, more or less in the same, in that's pretty much where the range is. Yeah, well, a handful of companies. Uh, okay. There's a Seeking Alpha article. The Seeking Alpha, some guy. It was this guy, the CFA guy. What's this guy? There was a great article on ESC. It's really about ESC. I think that'll, hopefully it'll be good. Yeah. What's Hammy's money stock? Hammy, whatever you say, it better be one of the Wall Street report. Don't tell me.
Yeah,
Don't
of
don't
course.
use some other stuff.
I know. I know. No, I own most of the Wall Street stuff. So Wall Street Reporter stuff. So money stock this week. I don't know what kind of time frame we're talking. Like short term or 3 to 6 months from now.
Which, let's just say the biggest potential.
Probably peak.
Peak. Okay. Okay.
I think. I would
Really,
think.
really peak. You think is big? Oh, from where it is right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Really? So that means your target must be. Wait, what's your target on peak then?
Well, I mean, they're talking about going to NASDAQ by the end of Q1. So, I mean, that's just going to make it go bonkers, right? Like,
Okay.
I think,
What's
if
the
that
number?
happened,
Hammy, what's the number then?
I don't, well, I don't see why it couldn't be, $6 or $7 by the end of Q1 when they announce
Okay.
NASDAQ.
Okay. That's okay. Oh, so basically, that's only 4x from here.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay. So if you're going to talk
4x.
about
Okay.
X, like times amount, okay. So let's,
I guess he's asking what percent. I think he's asking what's the
I mean,
percentage.
5 times from here, that's a
That's a
pretty
big
big
number.
move up, right? Like
Great
ESE could do that too, but I think peaks at the point of it, like massive inflection that the deals are coming up with. It could launch like, that one company that we don't talk about that announced they're going Nasdaq and it ran up to $10.
Which way? You talking Nextech, Entar?
Yeah, yeah. I
Well,
know
we
you
can
don't
talk
like
about
talking
that. I
about
got
it.
no
Yeah.
problem talking. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So the next, when Nextech announced they're going Nasdaq, that slew of information just ran it up to $10. Like,
No.
on
It was
whatever.
before. It was before, a little bit before the Nasdaq thing. But there was a
Well,
lot of.
no. So they announced. So it was like two. It was like 260 or something like that. And then they announced the line of credit. Then they
Well, the line
announced
of
that.
credit, that stuff was that the line of credit.
But it
Look,
was all in that same week, right? So they announced like a string of
there was a
news, and then
couple things. There's a lot of things happen, and then but the Nasdaq thing definitely. When did the Nasdaq? I think the Nasdaq thing happened right around then. But
it happened right before they announced with Fastly. And I think that when they announced with Fastly, that drove their liquidity, like the amount of shares traded went through the roof. And then
yeah,
those next couple of weeks after, it just kept continuing that momentum to $10, right?
yeah.
So
I think if they announce, yeah. So basically, the stock would have to be, was it $4 is the list minimum? Yeah, because they within bare bones of be $4.
yeah, well, I mean, you think, okay, so with peak, you think about it. So if they beat their Q4
They
revenues,
announce
like
they
we're talking
announce it
about,
on Nasdaq. That's the big thing. That
and then they do their forward guidance for 2021, and it's, instead of 55 million, now it's 100 million, for example, then, based on the deals that they've done with BDC, there's no reason that guidance can't be that. I think even the Zacks report was kind of alluding to that too. They got a price target of, what is it, 350 US, which is usually pretty conservative. So,
they usually be relatively, yeah, they usually like to be relatively conservative. No, I think. Look, I think peak. There's definitely a runaway to, like, that $5-7 range.
Mhm.
And again, all these stocks, they each have their own, like, personality. So the chart on,
Yeah, it's hard to pick one, really. I mean,
when this
I
thing
like
moves,
all of them.
when peak moves, it really moves.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it just feels like the moves that it's ready to do are just a little bit more explosive in nature
That's the word.
short term.
Right, exactly,
So,
exactly. Well, and they're
but
bigger.
I mean,
They're also bigger because it's a dollar.
yeah,
It's a $2 stock.
yeah, look at their revenues. If they get rid of those expenses that he talks about, that which they were working towards, consultants and all that stuff. I mean, then you're talking, being profitable. I mean, that's a big deal. Like that drives stock price pretty quick, right? So
Yeah,
I like that. I mean, I like that. Fans, I think, it has that same kind of potential. Like it can just scale really fast. Probably even Visby. Um, yeah, I mean, they all have that potential. It's just a matter of the delivery and timing of what news is coming out. So. Um, let's see like ESE, even like that one could be, who knows? Like that could be $5. Why not? Like if they
yeah.
just keep it.
So the only thing that I can't. There's not much we could tell from the chart because there's really not enough history. You can't really. There's not much you could. You
Yeah,
kind
who
of.
knows? Like it's so tight of a float structure or a
Yeah.
share structure that, and it's hard to really tell. Like ICANN, I love ICANN. Like who knows? By the end of Q1, maybe ICANN's $3 or $4 just based on rolling out all their tech and like who knows? Like they're talking about doing. I can't remember if he even said what they're thinking of doing, but it's going to be a lot more than what they did last year, based on. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Yes, the peak is definitely, yeah, I think, and also cloud. I think cloud could be a big mover when it starts moving. I mean, this
Oh yeah,
thing.
for sure. That one too. Yeah.
Also, what's with cloud. Here's the thing. This has, what the other stocks don't have is this one really has a lot of institutional sponsorship, and there's a lot of
Yeah,
money like, on the sidelines that would jump in
yeah.
once they see this thing moving.
Well, I
So
could see Doc going to the TSE probably in the new year, and that's gonna probably shoot it um, like kind of gapping to well health, I think.
okay, okay. No, I can see $5-7 on Doc.
Yeah, I could see that by June or whatever for sure.
Yeah, yeah. No, this is okay. So no, Doc is good. But again, yeah. So it's interesting. So we have this week. We have we have like we have stocks kind of we have half the stocks are making new highs, exploding, and the other some of them are either coming down or they're basing from pullback. So it's kind of you
Yeah.
have companies in different stages of the cycle.
Well, I guess
Uh,
that's kind of why I said peak because I think it's kind of like at that bottom point where it's ready to go up to that next level. So I guess in that sense, that's kind of why I like peak as
Look,
that pick. But
Look at Next Tech as an example, right? So that stock had three moves, right? It had the move from let's call it August of 19 to February, where it ran to I think it was $2. I think it hit $2 or something, from
yeah,
50 cents to two and change by February. Then it got hit, came down. It came down pretty hard. I mean, it
yeah.
was I mean, it was down like 70%.
Hmm.
And but then it ran above that two. Basically went to what 5, 7, then $10. So
Yeah,
you have that you have a couple of stages. So I think right now where peak is and where cloud is kind of where Next Tech was in that. No, the first run up. Excuse me. The first run up in Next Tech was November, from August to November. Went from 50 cents like $1.50.
oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the first one. So really these stocks, this is really the first run up. So
Yeah,
it pulls back, the market pulls back, and then it wants to kind of test and see, hey, what's this? Hey, is this thing for real? And if it's for real, then it goes higher than it was before. It could be by a multiple. So I think that's
yeah. And if
that's
they all, there's no reason they can't follow Next Tech in that regard, right? To get to that level. I mean, they're doing similar things, and they're all like, you know what I mean?
no, no. Listen, I'll put this. They're very, as far as I'm looking, the completely different industries, whatever it is, but underlying is similar. But actually, Peak is much faster. Well, Peak is, I mean, the numbers on Peak are blow away Next Tech by an order of magnitude.
Hmm.
Huge numbers. I mean, they're doing 50 million, and that's pure fintech.
Yeah,
It's not the vacuum cleaner stuff, the e-com.
yeah,
It's the high value stuff,
yeah,
which is what the market is paying for. So it's a pure play. Cloud MD's got big numbers. So that's, but it goes to show you that these things could definitely run. So here, okay, Fund Patrol. Keep an eye on Doc. SAG, BNN. They're going to be on BNN Tuesday. Is that? I don't know anything about it.
that'll definitely help.
Legitimate changing lives. Hammy, you are doing God's work. You're
Hey,
getting the order of
I'm just
Canada.
a guy. I'm just a guy. Thanks to Jack, I'm a little bit more of a guy now. But
You're going to be an order of. I want to get. What do you call? I just want to get one of those honorary citizenship things for Canada.
we'll work on that.
Because look, I'm doing all the companies we have. They're like 90% of them are Canadian. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
doing things for the Canadian economy. I want that guy. What's his name? Justin. What's his name? Justin Bieber. Justin Trudeau. I want my.
I'll knight you an honorary Canadian, Jack. When you come out.
Canadian. Yeah. But only in the summer.
Yeah. Well, Vancouver's not bad. It's like Seattle.
Is it? No, yeah, but it's gray. It's a lot of rain.
Yeah, it's similar. Yeah, I don't know if you've been to Seattle much, but it's quite
No,
similar.
I've been to Vancouver a couple times.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to Vancouver. I was at the. I went to that mining show. The mining show that they have at the. Is it the Pan Pacific?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
The
Pan
hotel.
Pacific.
They have a convention center with a white kind of tent or whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of place. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went. I
Pan
was. Yeah,
Pacific. Yeah.
yeah, because we were doing. Yeah, back this is a long time ago. Yeah, we're doing like video interviews with this is like 2005 or six, I think it
Oh,
was.
wow.
I was out there. That was my last time in Vancouver. 2000. I'll tell you what. My last time in Vancouver was 2006.
Okay. Well, you got to get back up here. Lots changed.
Because I no, it's what's funny is this. I remember I was at this conference, right, and they had different gurus, and one of the gurus there was saying, "Hey, this is you see all these condo buildings in Cole Harbor. I think it's called Cole Harbor, right?
Yeah.
So
You're
all
right.
these condo buildings, their prices are going to collapse by like 90%. You're going to see there's a massive real estate bubble. Where's the prices probably now are like 3 times higher
Oh, it's ridiculous.
than 2006, right?
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I know who it was, but it was like, but it was a beautiful, and the great food. They're great. The one thing I remember, they have great seafood because it's the fresh salmon from
Oh
Alaska.
yeah, great seafood. Yeah, the food here is amazing for sure.
I know because I ate at that restaurant, which is in that little harbor where the boats are. I had this salmon. I remember that it was the best. It was just fantastic.
Yeah, well, you'll have to come visit them sometime, Jack.
Yeah. I definitely have to. Canada is a very. I mean, like I remember Montreal is great food.
Montreal's nice.
Yeah. Toronto's. I don't know. It's kind of sort of like. It's like kind of like just a spread out version of New York. Just more sprawl. Montreal is very nice, and Vancouver. Yeah, I'd like to go back in the summer.
For sure.
And we'll meet up. We should have a meetup. We should have a meetup once the COVID thing happens.
There you go.
Is over.
We'll book the Pan Pacific and have a big.
Yeah, we're gonna do it because it's funny. We haven't done a physical conference. Because we used to do a thing where companies would present, like we do the presentations, but this is back in before the streaming. Companies would, and then we would have like hors d'oeuvres, drinks. I mean, it's a whole production. We don't have to do So actually, what we're going to do that. We're going to do that once the COVID thing is over. We're going to do something in Vancouver because we have a big, we have a huge following in Vancouver. Actually.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, for sure we do.
And I think the thing is, what I like is the thing I love about the Canadian investors, especially Vancouver, is the mindset is much more open to these speculative ideas. It's like, oh, this is normal. This is not like, oh, in the U.S. it's like, oh, it's OTC. They don't have. There's no like built-in. People are willing to take a shot with stocks. It's like it's more.
I like the CSD. There's a lot of disruptive technology companies right now
in Vancouver.
Yeah. It's like an emerging like another Silicon Valley basically. Like it's just there's so many. Tech startups and everything like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's better in a way because you have probably lower cost.
Yeah. Well, that was the whole thing. They reduced taxes and stuff, I believe, a while ago to kind of bring in more tech. I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of what.
Yeah. No, listen, the platform that we use for live stream, it's a guy from Vancouver.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It's a guy in Victoria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Jeremy's coming from Ontario to Vancouver. Okay. Listen, as soon as they let travel, we're gonna have. I think it'll probably be by. Hemi, when do you think things will normalize?
Normalize? I think we could probably see travel by next summer.
Next summer, okay.
End of summer, maybe.
May, June.
Maybe into like July, August. Yeah, we could say June. It's just tentatively June.
June, yeah. So we're gonna do something. Hopefully we have some more TenBaggers by then because I don't want to go to Vancouver if these stocks are down.
It's not gonna be a convention. It's gonna be a harbor.
I might have the harbor there, the Cole Harbor.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have. Hopefully we have some. Yeah. So we're gonna have some guests. We're gonna have Jeremy's gonna be flying in. He's flying to Vancouver. He's not going to Saskatchewan, right? If we did this in Saskatchewan, he wouldn't go. Doc, you know what? I don't know. Why not? I mean,
I don't mind that.
Doc is an institutional quality story.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's got.
So,
I mean, fundamentally, and they could easily make that move for sure. Like that stock is ready to do that. All it needs is the stock price to probably meet.
Steve. Okay, so if you look at revenue of Peak versus next dollar, yeah. So I'm saying is that Peak, if next that could be trading at whatever $7 Canadian, why can't Peak? And
Yeah,
Peak has more revenue by double roughly.
yeah, yeah. It was crazy. I mean, they announced 15 million in revenue, and I mean, but that just goes to show you that stocks need to consolidate at some point to get up to that next level, no matter how great some of the news is, right?
Is this true? Wait, is Vancouver real? No, it's not up 15 times since. No, it's not. That can't be 10. That's
I'm trying to think.
probably triple. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think 15, but it's definitely a lot more than. I think it's
It's
probably
like triple.
it depends, right, on where
Okay.
where you're living and stuff like that. There are areas that are way up.
Yeah, because I think in Vancouver, like that area, that Cole Harbor, I think the price is there like $1,000 a square foot, roughly.
Probably a bit more than that now. Yeah.
More than that. Okay.
Mhm.
So at that time, they were probably like 250,
Yeah.
300.
Yeah. No, downtown's. I don't know. It's always been pretty pricey, but it's hard to say. Like North Van is kind of that's across the water. It's kind of blown up since then for sure. Like you could have bought a house in North Van for 600,000, 7 or 8 years ago. Now it's 1.5 million. So that was in what 2012. So go
Okay,
back
wow.
even further. So yeah.
Big
So
move.
yeah, it could have moved quite a bit from 2006.
Okay.
I don't. I'm not sure.
August, September. Okay, maybe we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, the first as soon as they, we'll do is we'll have a meetup and we'll have companies presenting. We'll have whoever. We got a bunch. We got so many Canadian companies. I'm sure they'll have. The CEOs will be there.
Yeah, for
We'll have
sure.
JJ. Yeah, we'll have JJ come out to the Pan Pacific. Um, what is yeah, so dollar average, no, what is it, I forget, what is the listing in the New York stock, I forget the number, I should know. It's
I I honestly I know the Nasdaq just because I follow Peak and Nextech and all that stuff, but I'm not certain on the NYSE.
I'm gonna bring the poster. Yeah, it's funny, Mr. Dada. We got a lot of we have a lot of Vancouverites in here, so it'll be fun. Okay, Hammy, on that note, we have a big week ahead. We have a big week. We got big moves coming up in, I think, Trans, ICANN, CBDT, Visby, ESC, CRVC, another Vancouver company, CRVC, SHG. So we got some, it's hard to keep
There's a
track.
lot of them.
Yeah, this is, it's like the little animated graphic I show with the rockets launching this is what it's going to be like. There's going to be some crazy moves coming up this week. 20 cents in CBDT. I think we could see 20. I think 25 cents. I think 25 cents is kind of the magnet. That's kind of the magnet. It's pulling the stock towards that 20. The stock kind of wants to go to 25 cents and test that level and see if it can hang on. But it would be pretty easy, I think, for it to get there. I mean, it's already gotten to 15 cents, right? So why can't it go to a quarter? What's the difference? It's still not, like crazy overvalued. Uplisting. I don't know. Like I think, well, okay, so Logic, I think if they do this IPO, I think they're on track and they have the stock price of their position to do it. The others, yeah, I mean, we have a couple of these things. I think Cloud could uplist quickly. Who else? Peak.
Yeah, no.
That could be. I don't really care about the uplisting thing that much, to be honest, because I think, at the end of the day, the value is when these companies are in this small world, they're a big fish in a small pond. Once you're in a big exchange, once you're a NASDAQ, you really need to have a lot more momentum to get visibility, because now you're really competing with, Shopify. Who else, I mean, I know it makes it easier for people to buy the stock, but it also it's a whole different ball game. It's a completely different. So Nasdaq minimum, yeah, $3 bid. Futures are down. All right, so we'll see how it opens. Okay, Hammy, thank you again. We'll see
Thank
you
you.
in the next live stream.
Yeah,
Probably
thank
next
you,
Sunday.
sir.
We'll do Sunday, whatever. We'll do like a
Yeah,
Sunday.
sounds good. Yeah.
I'm going to be doing the charts. Meanwhile, every other night we'll see. And thank you everybody for joining, and thank you the super chat people. Where's the thing, the super chat people? All right, so thank you everybody. We'll see you, and we'll see you on the Telegram. We're going to be announcing on 12 o'clock tomorrow the new presenter, and we're going to have some Tuesday. We're going to have ICANN. We're going to have Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to have a very busy week this week. So hopefully everybody makes money and stays liquid, right? I mean,
Right.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.